Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Right now we are doing revision course for UPSC CSAT 2024. We already completed algebra, and from the last video we have started arithmetic. In this video we are going to learn about three topics: percentages, profit and loss, and interest. So let's start with the topic percentages. What exactly does percent means? So percent means per 100. Suppose, let's take an example that this is a chocolate bar and you get half of it. Means two pieces were made, one and two, and you get half of it, right? So out of two pieces you got half, right? But we are only right now considering out of two, not out of 100. But if I make this chocolate, the same chocolate, I've just zoomed it in and I've made around 100 pieces, 100 small pieces, and you have still got half of the total chocolate. So we are making a line here. So you have got these many pieces. So half of all the pieces will be 50, right? So how many pieces you have got now? Say out of 100 pieces, you have got 50 pieces. These and 1 by 2 are the same. 1 by 2 and 50 by 100 are the same. Only the difference is in 50 by 100 we are looking at how many pieces you have got when there were a total 100 pieces. So 50 pieces you have got, right? So this is 50%, right? So 1 by 2 is also known as 50%. We will learn about it later. But for now you understand that if a fraction is given to you and you just have to know that if there are total 100 pieces available, how many I have got. So that number is a per 100 or per cent, right? So let's see an example here. Ajay earns 50,000 per month. So Ajay's salary is 50,000 per month, right? His expenses include, he has two types of expenses. First is groceries and second is fuel, right? Two expenses. Grocery is 12,000 and fuel is 2,000. This is his expenses. So what is the total expenses he is incurring in a 1 month? That is 14,000. I hope it is clear. Now his salary is 50,000. He is spending 14,000. How much he is saving? Saving, remember this formula, saving is salary minus expenses. That is 50,000 minus 14,000. So that is 36,000. I hope it is clear. Now till now we have calculated, what all we have calculated? We have calculated three things. His salary we know, his saving and expenses. So now what is the percentage of total income his is expenses? First thing means how percentage expenses, how much of the total salary, his percentage of total salary is his expenses. His expenses right now is 50,000 and in that his expenses are 14,000, right? To convert this into a percentage, you just need to do one thing, and that thing is multiply the fraction with 100. Just this much is sufficient. So 14 by 50,000 into 100. That's all you need to do in a fraction to get a percentage. So now solving it, if you solve it, you will get 15 to the 50 to the, that is 28%. So 28% his is total expenses. So let's see like this. This is 100% means total income. 100% is the total income. Out of that, this 28% portion is the expenses. Will the remaining portion be salary? Yes. And what is that? Oh, sorry, savings. So his savings is 100 minus 28%. That is 72% of his income goes into saving. I hope you understand what the basics of percentage is, right? How to calculate the percentage in the simplest way. Now moving on. If a percentage is given to you, you should know how to convert it into a fraction. But if a fraction is given to you, you should know how to convert it into a percentage. Just now in the last question, we were given a fraction, right? We had some fraction. What did we do to convert it into a percentage? We multiply it by 100. So to calculate, to convert fraction into percentage, multiply the fraction with what? You have to multiply the fraction with 100. So if you calculate this, you will get 12.5 into 3. So this will be 37.5%. So 38, 3 by 8 is what? 37.5%. And how did we get it? By multiplying it by 100. Now, another example, 4 by 6. 4 by 6, to convert it into a percentage, multiply it by 100. So when you will calculate it, you will get something like 66.6%. Right? So just note it down. To convert fraction into percentage, you need to multiply it by 100. But on the other hand, to convert percentage into fraction, you need to divide. What? Divide by 100. Just the opposite of what we are doing while going from fraction to percentages. So 50%. 50% is given to us. What we are going to do? 50 divided by 100. So the fraction is 1 by 2. I hope it is clear. 22.5 is another example. 22.5 divided by 100. If you solve this, you will get around 22.5. I hope I am doing it right. Yes. So whatever the value you will get, that is the answer. Right? You can solve it, and that is a fraction form. So you just need to know two things. When we are going from fraction to percentage, that is when we multiply it by 100. When we are going from percentage to fraction, we do a division by 100. I hope this is clear, and this one is done. Moving on. Next part. Percentage change. Till now we are talking about the percentage. Percentage means this is total income, this part is expenses, and the remaining part is a salary. We were talking only about in terms of the current situation. When does percentage comes in? Percentage change comes in. Suppose right now my height is say 5 feet, and after 2 years my height is now 6 feet. What is the percentage change? How much change has occurred? So to talk about that in terms of percentage is known as percentage change, right? So the formula for percentage change, and before that, I am pretty sure you must be knowing every year you get that our GDP has increased by 6%. Our GDP has increased by 8%. You must have read it in the economy as well, right? So what is that? So they are asking how much it has increased or decreased with respect to last year GDP, right? I hope this is clear. We'll understand it better. So the formula is percent change is change in value. Change in value means going up. Suppose it changes, our economy is changing by say $300 billion. So that is a change in value. Initial value means the base value, right? From the last year value into 100. This is how you calculate the percentage change. Let's take an example here. In 3 years, suppose in 2020, our GDP was 2 trillion. In 2021, it became 2.5 trillion. In 2022, it became 3 trillion. Now, in 2020, between 2022 and 2021, what is the percentage change? So first part is percentage change number 1, means going from year 1 to year 2. So the percentage change is change in value. How much it has changed? It has changed by $0.5 trillion divided by the initial value. Initial value in these is 2 trillion. Means whatever is a base value divided by 2 into 100. I hope it is clear. Now if you calculate this, you will get 25% increase. So going from here to here, you get an increase of 25%. Now let's go from 2.5 trillion to 3 trillion. In this, the percentage change will be how much it has increased? 0.5 divided by, what is the base now? Base is now 2.5 trillion into 100, right? 0.5 divided by 2.5 into 100. And if you calculate this is 20%. So between year 1 and year 2, it increased by 25%. Between year 2 and year 3, it has increased by 20%. I hope it is clear how you calculate the percentage change between two periods, between two times, right? Now moving on to the next part, we are going to learn a lot about percentage changes in this properties of percentage change. Like first thing is multiple percentage change. In the last example only, you have seen a multiple percentage change. Means we started with $2 trillion. Then in first year, it increased by 25%. In second year, it increased by 20%. In third year, it could increase by 30%. So that is multiple percentage changes, and that is where we'll learn. So in the start, the price of a product is 2,000 rupees. This is the start. In January, it increased by 20%. In January means only this, in December it was 2,000. In January, it increased by 20%. So what is the value in January? The value in January is 2000, means whatever the value, into 1 plus 20%. 1 plus 20%, what is how is it? We'll solve now. 1 plus 20%. So 2000 into 1 plus, to convert a percentage into fraction, what do? Divide it by 100. So that is 2000 into, just I am solving it, so it will be 5 by 6. So 5 4s are, so 2400. So in first year only, the value is now 2400. How we have solved it, I'll show it to you again. But from January, with 20% increase, the value is now 2400. In February, there was 0% increase. 0% increase. So what is the value? Again the same formula. Write the initial value 1 plus percentage change, that is 0%. So if you calculate this will come out to be 2400 only. So no change means this value is going to remain the same. So in February, the price of the product was 2400. Moving on to next part. In December, in March, it decreased by 20%, means minus of 20%. Decrease by 20% means minus of 20%. So minus of 20% means, what is the initial value? 2400. 1, right? Since it is decreasing, we put a minus sign here. Same 20%. 1 minus 20%. 2400 into 1 minus 20 by 100. Right? This is equal to 2400 into 4 by 5. Right? So 5. So if we calculate it, 5. So it will be a little tricky, but 5 4 are 20, 5 8 are 40. So 480 into 4. This will come around to be around 2000 minus 80. That is 1920. So 1920 is the value in March. I hope it is clear. How did we calculate it? So with multiple percentage changes, the price has increased first till 2400, then it stays in 2400, then it decreased back to 1920. I hope it is clear. The same thing you can do, you can try it on your own. So what do we have here? 2000 at the start, first month, it decreased directly by 20%. So in the second month, the value will be 20% will be, now the value is 1600. In February, 0% change. So it will stay 1600. In March, it is increasing by 20%. So the value will be 1600 plus this. You can calculate on your own, but I'm just doing it quickly. Plus 320. So the final value will be 1920. So this is how the graph will look like in this case. I hope it is clear. Now moving on. Percentage reversal. Percentage reversal means we are starting with 2000 rupees. We increase by 30%. We decrease by 30%. Will it mean that it will come back to 2000? Not necessary. Right? Why? I will give you the answer now, but let's say year 1. What is the condition in year 1? Year 1, the 2000 has increased by 30%. So the value here will be 2600. I hope it is clear. 2600, it will increase up to 2600. So the value at this point of time is 2600. Now it is decreasing by 30%. So when you will calculate it, now in first case when it was increasing, the base was this, the base was 2000 rupees. But when you are decreasing 30%, now the base is not 2000, but the base is 2600. So the final value is not going to be equal to 2000. Means you are increasing by 30%, decreasing by 30%. That does not mean you are going to come back to 2000. Why? Because the initial or the base or the initial value in our calculation is changing. Right? I hope this is clear. You can calculate this on your own. The percentage reversal just want to prove that it is not necessary that it is going to come back to the original value. The reason here is that the base is changing after every year. Next part. Now we are starting with profit and loss. Profit and loss is simply associated with percentages because profit percentage, cost, loss percentage, they all are quoted in percentage. So it will be easy for us to understand after we have learned percentage. Now let's start. What is cost price? Cost price is simply the price at which a shopkeeper buys. A customer buys. So suppose you are buying an Apple Watch. So this is for the shopkeeper. Cost price is for the shopkeeper. So a shopkeeper is one who is buying, suppose, a watch for rupees 10,000. Right? It is his cost. That is the cost which he will incur. I am pretty sure you have heard many shopkeepers say this thing कि हमें 100 रुपए का पड़ता है. So that means how much he has spent to buy it for himself. Now he is going to increase the price for it a little bit so that he could earn some profit. And this profit is not illegal. Means suppose he make it the selling price at 12,000. Right? This 2,000 rupees which he is getting out of this trade, it is only going to help him. Why? Because he has to give it to the transport, give it for rents, give it as the wages to the laborers. So everything will be covered using this profit margin only, right? So that is why the cost shopkeeper will buy it at some price, sell it for some other price, and that portion he will use to keep something for himself, then give it as wages, give it as a rental income and all, right? Now, what is discounted price? Now the discounted price is, so before that you need to know what the mark price is. Mark price is simply the MRP. I'm pretty sure on Amazon you must have seen that this thing is 1800 rupees. That is a mark price. Whatever it is marked at, the price at which it is marked at. But many a times sale happens. They say now instead of 1800 you just have to pay 1500 for this watch. So that is the discounted price. After adding the discount to the mark price, you will get a discounted price. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to the next part. The cost price is clear, selling price is clear. You just need to know those two terms for this slide. Cost price is whatever it is costing to the shopkeeper. Selling price is for whatever price he is selling it to the customer. Suppose a shopkeeper buys it for 100 rupees. This is just a common simple example and you will understand it even better. And he sells it for 120 rupees. He is buying it for 100 rupees and selling it for 120 rupees. Is he making a profit? Yes, because he is selling it more for more price than what he has bought it for. So his profit will be 20 rupees out of it. Why? Selling price minus cost price. Suppose another case, Corona has occurred. All the shops are closing. There is no customer for him. So what he will do? Rather than keeping his inventory with himself, it might be a piece of bread. They cannot keep it for lot many days. What he will do? He has no option then to sell it for suppose only 50 rupees. Is he making a profit out of it? No. He bought it for 100 rupees. Now he is selling it for 50 rupees. So he is making a loss on this trade of how much? Selling price minus cost price, right? Selling price minus cost price, or cost price minus selling price, that is 50 rupees, right? So whenever the selling price is greater than cost price, you make a profit, and the formula is selling price minus cost price. Whenever your cost price is greater than selling price, you make a loss on the trade, and the formula is cost price minus selling price. Just you need to know these two terms. So how you calculate profit, how you calculate loss. Now profit percentage. How to calculate profit percentage? To calculate profit percentage, the formula is profit what you have calculated in the above step divided by cost price into 100. Please focus on this cost price. It's cost price in the denominator while calculating profit percentage. In loss percentage, the formula is loss divided by what? Divided by again cost price. In both the formulas, the denominator is cost price. Don't make a mistake of putting a selling price in the denominator. It's always cost price in the denominator. I hope these formulas are clear. Profit, profit percent, loss and loss percent. Moving on to the next part. Now the cost price is given to you, and the selling price is, you have to calculate the selling price. How will you do it? Suppose cost price is say 100 rupees, and they say I am selling it for 5% profit. How you calculate selling price? Selling price is calculated in the same way we did a percentage change. Remember, you put a cost price here. I'm just making a formula. Cost price 1 plus profit percentage. So cost price 100, 1 plus 5%. You can calculate the selling price. In case of loss percentage, use a formula. Selling price is cost price 1 minus loss percent. Just a minus sign is changing and nothing else. So in our case, suppose the loss is 10% loss. So how we will calculate the selling price? 100 rupees cost price, 1 minus 10%. I hope you can solve it now, because how to solve it we have learned in the percentages slide. This thing is done. How to calculate selling price when profit percentage and loss percentage are given. Now next part. This thing, I will just give you a hint. You solve this question on your own. Shopkeeper is selling a watch for 330 rupees. So selling price is rupees 330. He's earning a profit percentage of 10%. What is the cost price? So to calculate the cost price, remember the formula from the last slide? SP is equal to CP, 1 plus profit percentage. SP is 330. Cost price is suppose CP, 1 plus 10%. You can solve this and get the cost price. I hope it is clear. Or better, I solve it one for the one and the last time. Cost price 1 plus, how do you solve 10%? 10 by 100 divided by 100. So solve this. You will get cost price as rupees 300. That is the answer. You can solve it, and this is the way you solve a profit loss question. Now this is clear. Moving on. This again, I will just give you an idea. You have to solve it on your own. Samesh buys a cycle. So the cost price of the cycle is 5,000. He spent 250 rupees on repairs. Means he's incurring some extra cost on it. This is the price which he's putting in for the cycle. So everything is going from his pocket. So total cost price to him will be 5,250 rupees. I hope it is clear. Now the selling price is 7,000. So will he make a profit or loss? He will make a profit. Why? Because SP is greater than cost price. You can calculate the profit percent using the formulas. Nothing much there. So that is all. Right? In other case, his cost price is, he bought it for 5,000. And how much he is putting in for the repairs? He put in 2,500 rupees into the repairs. So his total cost is 7,500. Selling price is still 7,000 rupees. Is he making a profit or loss? Loss. Why? Because now CP is greater than SP. I hope this is clear. You can solve the profit percentage, loss percentage by using the formula profit divided by cost price into 100. That is the formula you need to use. Now the discount. The discount is pretty easy. Don't worry. Simply suppose a price is marked at some price. You put a discount. You put a discount of suppose minus 10%. So to calculate the discounted price is equal to marked price 1 minus discount price. There is always minus here. Why? Because discount gets subtracted from the marked price. So the discount price is marked price into 1 minus discount price. I hope it is clear. Let's do this question. List price or marked price are the same. Marked price is 2000 rupees. Discount percentage is 5%. Selling price or the discounted price is how much he is selling it for. Marked price into 1 minus 5%. Can you solve it? Yes. Whatever you get the answer, that is what the price after discount. Is it clear? I hope this is easy after you have already learned about selling price and cost of price, and that's all you need to know about the discounts. There's another question here. Let's see what the says. It is like a two-part question. Means one part he's making a profit and another part he's also putting a discount on it. Let's see what he's trying to do. What he's doing here. Suppose shopkeeper marks price of a fan 40% of the cost price. Suppose he bought it for some price, cost price is this much. First what did he do? He added 40% to it and he marked it this thing. Marked it means whatever he had bought it for. Suppose he has bought it for 100 rupees. He immediately he marked it up. He charges 40% extra already, and now he's setting a mark price as 40% above of it. So this is 140. You can calculate it in this way: CP into 1 plus 40%, and you will get 140 rupees. I hope it is clear. Now after that, on this mark price, just to give you an illusion of benefit to the customer, he says I am giving you a discount of 20%. Is it really his really good thing, bad thing? I don't know, but he's just giving an illusion to us that he's giving so much discount. But he has already added 40% for himself. So he's giving a 20% discount. So 20% discount means marked price into 1 minus 20%. So 140 minus 20% of 140. If you calculate that, I will calculate it on the side. You can calculate on your own. Minus 28. You will get as, I guess this is right, 112. Yes, 112 is correct. So 112 is the final price. He's putting it for the people. He is putting it for the people to buy. Means it is his selling price. This is his actual selling price. So he started with 100 rupees, added 40% for himself. Now the mark price is 140. Then he added a 20% discount. Now the price has become 112. Now is he making a gain or loss? You decide. That his selling price is 112. His cost price, whatever it costed him, is 100 rupees. So he is making a profit for sure. Why? Because selling price is greater than cost price. I hope this is clear. This profit loss is done. The last part, multiple discounts. Multiple discounts is nothing but this is a very interesting trick used by Amazon and different website or shopkeeper. Rather than saying that we are giving you 20 plus 20, 10 plus 20 plus 5, that is 35%. They will never say we'll give you direct 35% discount. What they will say, we are going to give you three sub discounts. One of 10%, then after the 20%, and then after the 5%. What is happening here? Suppose a thing is for 100 rupees marked. It is MRP or mark price is 100 rupees. First he is giving a discount of 10%. If he is giving a discount of 10%, you will get it for 90 rupees. Then after that, suppose another discount is putting off 20%. You will get it for 90 minus 20%, that is 72 rupees. After that, he will give you a discount of 5%. So when you're giving a discount of 5%, so it will be 3.6. I hope it is right. 3.6, 4, 1 second, 4, that is 68 rupees. So 68.4. I hope the calculation is right, but anyways, So this is the final amount you are paying. This is the amount paid by the customer. Even though we are getting the same three discount, 10 plus 10, 20 and 5. But suppose a customer is given, the shopkeeper has given us single discount of 35%. Rather than giving us different discounts, he has just given us 35% discount. You would have got it for, you could, if you want to calculate, you can do it 100, 1 minus 35%. You will get, must have got it for 65 rupees only. But after these multiple discounts, you are getting it for more price, that is 68 rupees. So is this now tell me, is this a good deal for the customer or this one? Obviously 65 rupees is a good deal. So whenever the shopkeeper gives you next time, he says rather than giving you 35%, I am going to give you multiple discounts. No, go for a single discount. That is going to be more beneficial for you, right? So single discount and multiple discount. In first case, here we are getting it for 68.4 rupees and not for 65 rupees, which we have got if we have been given a single discount, right? So now, if they have asked you that there are multiple discounts, 10%, 20% and 5%, what is at the actual discount? Actual discount. So the actual mark price was 100 rupees. You are getting it for 68.4 rupees. In actuality, you are only getting 31.6% discount and not the 35%. So this is the actual discount which you are getting and not the 35% discount. I hope it is clear. I cannot make it simpler, and I'm just making it fast because the things are repeating. How to calculate cost price, discount and all. The things are repeating now. Moving on to the last topic for this video. This is also interesting topic, but I have not seen a lot of questions coming from this side. So just know the formulas, know the basics, and you are covered. Don't worry, don't go too deep into this topic, simple interest and the compound interest, right? Let's start. Suppose you put some money in the bank. You are putting some money in the bank. Suppose I put in 1 lakh rupees in the bank. I give 1 lakh rupees to the bank. That is the principal, right? You must have heard about fixed deposit, other recurring deposit and all. You putting 1 lakh rupees in the account. After that, bank says, I am going to give you 8% interest. I hope you have seen a lot of ads, 8% interest, 9% interest for the senior citizens and all. So this is the interest the bank is going to give you for keeping your money with them. What is this? We'll see in the question. But for now, you just familiarize yourself with the terms. Time. I keep it for 1 year in the bank, 2 years in the bank, 3 years in the bank. So this is the time period for which you keep your money in the bank. Right? Sorry, that was interest. I just mistaken it by rate of interest. This is rate of interest. Rate of interest is 8%, whatever, per annum, per month, whatever they are saying. 8% per annum is the rate of interest. What is interest? Interest is of two types. Simple interest and compound interest. We'll learn in the next video. Interest is, suppose bank. So how it is actually happening? You keep your money in the bank. Suppose 1 lakh rupees at 8%. 8% means bank is going to give you 8% if you keep the money with you for 1 year. What will bank do with this money? Bank will go to a big industry, suppose say Reliance. Bank will say, keep this 1 lakh rupees, use it for yourself, but after 1 year, give me suppose 15%. Corporate loans are actually normally corporate loans interest are higher. So bank is going to take 15% interest from this guy for giving him money. After that 15%, out of that 15% what he has got from Reliance, he is going to give you 8% to you and 7% he will keep it with them. Now again, this is not illegal. Those 7%, where will that 7% go? Suppose out of 15%, the bank gives it to you as in interest. But the remaining 7%, what will he use it for? He will use it for running the ATM network, running the bank branches, giving the salary to the employees, locker space, Beam, other facilities, mobile app and all. So this 7% is used for their operational running. That is how banks work, right? So you just focus on right now. I'm just removing this part. This is not of significance to you. Just remember, If you keep some money in the bank, bank is going to give you some extra money for keeping your money with them, and that is the rate of interest. And the extra money you will get, that is known as interest. It is of two types, simple and compound. We'll learn about it now. First thing is simple interest. In simple interest, I will show you simple interest. Suppose, let's say, with the example, main thing I cannot emphasize more. Focus on the basics. If you know the difference between compound interest and the simple interest, you will surely be in a better position than a person who just know the formula, right? So let's see what simple interest is. Simple interest means, say, suppose I keep 100 rupees in the bank and bank is giving me 10% extra every month. So 10% interest bank gives me. So after 1 year, bank is giving me how much? Bank is going to give me 10% interest, 10% of rupees 100. That is, again, that is what? 10 rupees. Rupees 10 is the interest bank is going to give me after 1 year. Now what will happen after second year? Again, this principal which you have kept, bank is going to give you 1 year interest on this. That is again 10% of 100 rupees. So after second year also, you are going to get 10 rupees in your account. After third year again, you will get 10 rupees in your account. This is how the the simple interest works. Even before giving you the formulas, I am going to compound interest first and show you how the compound interest work differently. The same person now has kept money in the bank, and the bank is after first year, bank has promised him 10%. Now, how much money bank will give? 10 rupees. Now, after 1 month, after 1 year, customer is not taking any money out of the bank. He has 100 rupees in the bank plus this extra 10 rupees. He's going to keep it in the bank only. He's not taking out any money. Now, what is the total amount of money he has in the bank now? 110 rupees. Now, in the second year, he will again get 10%, but not 10% of 100, but 10% of 110 rupees. So, in the next year, his interest will be 10% of 110, that is 11 rupees. And currently, he has how much money in the bank? 110. So, the total money he will have in the bank account after second year is 121 rupees. I hope it is clear. In third year, what is happening again? That all the money, still the customer has not taken out anything. Again, he is going to get 10%, but 10% not of 100 rupees, like simple interest. 10% of 121. So 121 plus 10% extra, that is 12.1% interest. In the bank account, he will be having 133.1 rupees, right? So in simple interest, he started with 100 rupees. In the first year, he got 10 rupees. In second year, he got 10 rupees. In third year, he got 10 rupees. So he has 130 rupees with him after 3 years if he is going by the simple interest. But if he is going by the compound interest route, he has 133.1 rupees. So he has 3 rupees extra in the bank. So that is why compound interest, compounding, that is the power of compounding. So whatever you are keeping in the bank, interest is being charged on which value matters a lot. In only 3 years, you have got 3 rupees extra. Imagine this going in 20 years, 30 years down the line. So compounding is great. So that is the only difference here. Now let's start and understand how to use the formulas in the case of simple interest, right? Simple interest formula is how to calculate simple interest. Simple interest is principal into rate of interest into time by 100. That's all the formula you need to know. In this question, simple interest in 3 years were principal, that is 100. Rate of interest is 10%. Time is 3 years divided by 100. So that is 30 rupees interest he will get in 3 years. What is the principal? He already has 100 rupees. So what is the total amount person will get after 3 months or after 3 years? So amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. So that is rupees 130. I hope it is clear. How will you calculating the principal, rate of interest, time, simple interest, and then amount? Now the second part. Here, how are you going to calculate the formula for compound interest and the simple interest? Here, we don't start with calculating compound interest. We start with calculating the amount. Amount is given by principal 1 plus r by 100 in raised to power t. Once you get in the last formula, the amount was principal plus interest. Here also, to calculate the compound interest, amount minus principal. We'll see in this question how you're going to use it. Amount after 3 years is principal, that is 100. 1 plus r is 100 by 10 by 100 raised to power 3. If you calculate this, this is 133.1. So that is the amount you will have in the bank. But this amount is not the total amount. This has some principal plus compound interest. So amount is 133.1. Principal is 100 rupees plus compound interest. So the compound interest he has got after 3 years, that is 33.1 rupees. I hope it is clear. So this is how you calculate simple interest, compound interest, and that's all. Now the last two parts. Till now we are being so told that it is compounded annually. Means you are getting interest only after end of the year. But suppose instead of annually, they say we are compounding semi-annually. Means you will be getting interest. Suppose in normal scenario, this is year 0, year 1 and year 2. In normal scenario, you go from here to here, your interest is, you get interest here. And after that you go from 1 to 2, this is where you get interest. But in case of semi-annually, means after every 6 months, you will get first interest after 6 months, second interest after 6 months, third interest after 6 months, fourth interest after 6 months. So rather than getting 2 times interest, you are getting 4 times interest. So the only thing that is the formula is going to remain the same. A is equal to P 1 plus R by 100 raised to power T. But the only thing that is going to change, principal is going to stay the same, 100. Rate of interest, that was 10%. Now rate of interest when it is semi-annually, divide that rate of interest by 2. 10% by 2, that is 5%. Time period is 3 years. Rather than using 3 years, multiply this by 2, that is 6. Means there are for 3 years you are going to make 6 jumps. So in our example, amount will be principal, that is 100 rupees, 1 plus r. R is now 5%, 5 by 100 raised to by t. T is 6. So if you calculate this, you are getting some new amount other than what you got in the case of compounded annually. I hope it is clear. Moving on to semi-annually, now we have quarterly. Now they're charging interest after every 3 months. So the formula is going to remain the same. A is equal to P 1 plus R by 100 raised to by T. Principal remain the same, that is 100 rupees. Rate of interest was 10%, but that is for 1 year. But when you are talking about quarterly, what we are going to do? We are going to divide it by 4. In case of semi-annually, we divide it by 2. Here we are going to divide it by 4. So that is 2.5%. Time is 3 years. So, but we multiply it by 4. In case of semi-annually, we are multiplying it by 2. We are multiplying it by 4, so 12. So here amount is equal to principal 100, 1 plus 2.5 by 100 raised to power 12. Calculate this, you will get some other value than semi-annually and annually. So what we have learnt? We have learnt only by how compounding annually is happening. Means it is happening every end of every year, at the end of every 6 months, at the end of every 3 months, whatever. However it is happening, you are getting some different amount. So that is again the power of compounding, right? So compounding means how interest is being charged to you after every 3 months, 6 months or 1 year. That is also going to decide your amount, principal, amount and interest. I hope it is done. I hope it is clear. I know this is a long video, but we have covered a lot of topics, that is percentages, profit and loss, and simple interest and compound interest. And one of the major topics in our uh, arithmetic section, percentages and percentages, the most important topic. After that comes is your profit and loss, and then in the case order of priority, then the simple interest and the compound interest come. So that we are stopping this video here. We'll be meeting again for the last topic in arithmetics, for the remaining topics of the arithmetics, and once that is done, algebra and arithmetic will be completed. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubt, please post them in the comments, and we'll meet in the next video. Till then, best of luck for your preparation.